Hey everybody, this is Rich, and this is another of our Gauntlet City Limits series that we play as part of the Gauntlet community. Tonight, it's the first of two sessions of Dawg, spelled with a W-D-A-W-G, the RPG. This is a game where you play, surprisingly enough, a dog, a canine, in modern day. Gauntlet City is a living campaign where we live in and create characters and play in Gauntlet City, a made-up Midwestern United States city that kind of, I think of it like a little like Chicago-ish, a little-ish kind of thing. Maybe a little like Minneapolis in case I want to have a lake thrown in. So that's what we have. Everyone creates a neighborhood, and all of the characters.
There are lakes in Chicago.
Not like there are in Minnesota and Minneapolis. It's like 10,000 lakes there, although I've lived in Minnesota, and honestly, some of those lakes are frickin' ponds. But whatever. I digress. Huge mosquitoes, though. So, yeah, Gauntlet City, we've had a variety of crazy adventures here. Games tend towards the lighthearted. Last year, I ran Cat by John Wick. I searched Drive-Thru RPG in the Google to try to find a dog-related RPG that was not Fate, because I suck at Fate. Sorry, Lowell. And this is what I found. So, Dog with a D-A-W-G is from Kinzer Company, I think. Written by Ashok Desai, and it's got some really cool art, and I think it's pretty neat. It's got some neat ideas here, so I'm looking forward to digging into this thing, as it were. Digging, see, get it? Dog pun? Yeah, okay. All right, let's do some quick introductions of our pack, as it were. I'm going to say as it were every once in a while, since puns aren't allowed. So. Tyler, please tell us about Beau.
Beau is actually General Pierre Gustave Toutant Beauregard the 16th of his line. He is generally called Beau by his friends, and everybody is Beau's friend. He is taken care of by his mistress, the great lady. Has a fine house in Forgotten Heights, and she has with her their servant, Mr. Walkies, who will take him for strolls and will honor his scat by picking it up, and one presumes taking it back to his own den to treat reverently. We also have a fine lady, Miss Goodsmell, downstairs, who provides all of our food. And then there's Princess Ming, the most unfortunate, perfidious of cats, who lives in our home as well. One of these days I will get rid of this Miss Princess.
That is amazing. Mr. Walkies. Oh my goodness. I do like Beau. Whew. Beau is a medium-sized working dog and a male. And then let's see, he has the Doolittle effect, which allows them to talk to multiple animals, not just dogs. And then Dog of War.
That lets me, when I'm top dog, I'll be able to, if I fail a dodge but roll well enough, I'll take half damage and maintain top dog.
Cool. And then Roughhousing.
Which, if I roll high enough on an attack, I can make it subdual damage, because I'm not much to hurt other dogs. That just seems unfortunate.
Oh, Beau. Captured my heart already, Beau. Awesome. Next, Patrick, tell us about Sionn, spelled S-I-O-N-N. I did have to get some help on that one.
It's because of his lineage. He's a crossbred cur, which seems sort of insulting for a lineage category. But he's a half Irish Wolfhound, half German Shepherd. So his owner got very clever and came up with an Irish-sounding name, or Irish-spelled name, I suppose. But yes, he is very large and very shaggy, and he lives in a sort of laid-back area of town where his owner, like, he has a home. It's a nice home, but it's in an apartment building, and he just sort of is allowed to wander freely through the neighborhood. He's amongst his stats, he's got a pretty good human handling. Nothing like Sophie, but it's sort of on the idea that he is a very large, intimidating-looking dog, and so he's gotten good at looking cute and non-threatening.
Cool, and I'm gonna circle back for some more questions from Bo. I just want to get a general idea of Sean. So you said that Sean, big dog. Did you say apartment complex? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm like an old warehouse building that's been turned into like lofts.
Cool.
But it's a very shady, treed over, sort of laid back neighborhood, so he just wanders around a lot.
Is this a thing where he wanders around and among the humans, like out on the sidewalk, or does he wander around within the apartment complex?
A little of both. Like, there's I think a sort of like there's a couple restaurants and a couple shops in a sort of centralized location. A lot of people hang out there, and he goes and, begs off of the various shop owners on a route throughout the day. But mostly he hangs around the apartment building.
So when he begs for food from the small Italian restaurant, do they actually set up food for him on crates, perhaps? Like,
well, only if there's a really, really nice smelling dishwasher there who always smells like all the best bits of food. And if he's there, then I know I can go up and he'll get me like actually a little tinfoil plate and set up a little like sampler of what they're serving that day. But if it's one of the other ones, like they'll just throw out like a bone or some meat or something, and there's no ceremony to it. I mean, I appreciate the gesture, but there's just there's standards that we strive to meet.
I love it. Awesome. Next, we have Sophie, the Dachshund. Do you say Dachshund or say Dachshund or how would you say?
Dachshund.
Dachshund. Okay, Dachshund.
Well, originally it's Dachs in German. Dachshund is a German word. Yeah,
that's why I was asking you to pronounce it. So
Dachshund, but
Dachshund.
like those who English-speaking people I know, they say Dachshund. But who knows? It doesn't matter. Well, but it matters for Sophie. Because Sophie just recently moved her. Her owner is a German artist. His name is Ken. That's not a German name, but he has adopted that because he's an artist. He moved to the Wupper Valley. The Wupper Valley is in Gauntlet City. The sun doesn't shine that often because it's a valley. But recently artists moved there, and so did Sophie. She's pretty new here and quite excited because the dogs are totally different here, and it's very interesting. And well, I'm a dachshund, so I'm small. I love my master. I like to be around with humans. They often have like delicious stuff like cupcakes and cookies, stuff like that. And it's good to be around humans. And nearly as good as to be around dogs. But well, like getting once in a while to know a new dog is interesting. I'm spayed, so I'm not into breeding. This kind of things is not beyond my horizon. I never understood why people do that, or dogs. Like people also not, like my master. I don't want to know what he's doing there. But I'm sad when he does. Yeah. Oh, I could tell you so much about my master, but I won't right now because I know you won't listen. Well, I have to say, every adventurer in every dungeon in the world will be so jealous of me because I have fast metabolism as a toy dog. That means I eat and immediately get my hit points back. I don't need to camp. Isn't that great? Well, not all of them, but some of them I get immediately back. Isn't that great? I think fast metabolism should be on the adventuring gear of every adventurer in every dungeon in the world. That sounds so good. Just consume a ration and there you go. I can also beg, and I have puppy dog eyes. Yeah. So that's me.
That is really cool. Thank you for telling us about Sophie. Last but not least, we have Paul, who's playing Nomad. Please tell us about Nomad.
Well, sure. I'm I'm a Catahoula boxer breed, and I'm not going to try to go with the Southern accent all night because I've been already upstaged. But I have two different impulses, right? I want to herd things. I'm a working dog. I want to herd the cattle and the other things, and I'm also at my soul I'm a hunting dog. I don't point, but I sometimes feel that urge to. I don't do it, but yeah, my I hate to say masters, because really, what is that saying about me if I say masters?
Get all philosophical. That's awesome.
But the people, the humans, or whatever we call them, the food bags or whatever, they're I play good with the kids. But every now and then I just really need to get out, and it's not enough to herd immature human types. I need to go spread my wings. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've got for things that need to be known, I can talk to other animals pretty righteously. I still don't understand the humans, but I trying, and my nose is real good.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to circle back around, get to know a little bit of each of your dogs, and figure out how it is you ended up in the La Frenère Humane Society, which is located in downtown Gauntlet City. So, Nomad, you mentioned something about you can deal with kids. Does your human have, like, is that a full family?
I'm not.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I'm not so good at counting, but more than two, more than front paws, and I know there's two people that feed me sometimes, and then they're the soft ones just kind of toddle around, and there's 4 different smells. I don't understand how that would happen, because they don't usually make litters.
So the littlest one, do you think it's a male? Do you actually let him ride you when he tries?
To my everlasting shame, I have to say yes.
This isn't your first. Oh, sorry.
It doesn't last long, but he tries.
It's a little cowboy. Okay. This isn't your only family. Like your first family. What happened to your first family?
We don't talk about that much. There,
Now, sorry.
there was a fire, and I promise it wasn't my fault.
So have you spent some time here at the La Frenère Humane Society before then?
Sadly, yes.
Okay, so you're a return tenant, as it were. Okay.
Yeah, I know the drill. I'm so happy to see you. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, look at me. I'm all adorable. Look at my. Don't be disturbed by my oddly colored tongue. I'm just, I'm just all happy to see you.
Which of your most recent, like your family now, which of them did you convince? Which one did you have a connection with?
That's the one they call. I think they call Mama. Mostly. I don't know. I I just licked her hand, and she was all like, "Oh," and then wah 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 wah.
How long have
I
you
heard
been
the
with
O
this?
part.
How long have you been with this family? Has it been a few years, or is it still pretty new?
Are you talking dog years?
I don't know. Am I?
It it's been a while. The littlest one, the one you asked about riding me,
Mm-hmm.
was crawling when they first picked me up.
Did they put the ID chip in you?
Yeah. Well, the Lafreniere people did,
Gotcha.
but
Gotcha.
yeah.
Cool. Now, you were caught out away from home. You said that you like to hunt things. What were you hunting?
Trying so hard not to say wabbits.
It's okay. It's a thing dogs do.
Wabbits.
Now, is this a rabbit you'd seen before, or it was just one that was out and that was the one you go for?
There's one calls herself Dilly Bird. I don't understand why, but she's been teasing me from the edge of the yard for weeks. And then she just hopped through, and there was a gap, and I followed. I did not catch her.
Dang that Dillybird. Okay. All right. Thank you, Nomad. I appreciate that. Sophie, you moved recently here. You moved here. Where did you come from? A bigger city, a smaller city, another country?
I come from Europe. That's a country very far away from here. There's an ocean in between us. You can't imagine what a journey that was. It was so exciting. I was so afraid sometimes, but my master Ken told me everything will be fine.
Now, did you get to ride in the seat in the thing with the sky, or were you underneath when you came?
Well, there was a lot of shouting and a big discussion my master had, like with his people at the airport. where these things fly up in the sky. And so in the end, my master is the best master in the world. I was allowed to sit on his lap in a cage, though.
In a cage.
But that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that is okay. All right, and
Yeah,
that was.
I'm fine with living in a cage. Like, the whole world is a cage. There's no point in running away. Really. There's no point in running away. It's just tempting sometimes.
Tempting sometimes. Now, your owner, your human. You said his name was Kerry?
Ken.
Ken. Okay. And Ken's an artist. You guys seem really close. I mean, the fact that he would argue to have you on his lap. What was the
Yes,
last? Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sleeping in his bed with him. Yes. Well, if he doesn't have visitors.
Does he have visitors often?
Yes. Too often, in my opinion. And they change all the time. And they smell differently. Like, sometimes very strange. They use
Are these
perfume.
solitary visitors, or does he have a group of people come over?
No, that was only once with this group. But I think, like, I felt that he was also a little bit embarrassed afterwards.
So one group, he has people over often.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of them stayed over, or do they go away?
No, they stay over. They come in the evening and they stay till the morning. And they often don't come back. Maybe because of me. Because they know that I'm Master's dog and they are not.
Right. How do you assert yourself? How do you make sure that they know? What did you do?
To these visitors, what my best trick is, I carry away their underwear. I have a secret place where I gather all their underwear. As soon as it's off, I get it in, and gone it is. That usually upsets them.
I see. So, was it your human? Was it Ken who found your secret stash, or was it the last one that stayed over?
My secret stash? Well, we had like there was like, when we were still, there are dogs out there, I think, like nasty stray dogs. I don't want to see them. They seem to be scary. I don't know. I'm happy that my master closes the door all the time. Like this stash, yeah, like it once was found, but it got even worse. Like the visitor wanted to leave immediately in the middle of the night. Yes. Yeah. But my master liked my stash. He wasn't angry on me.
Okay, so he wasn't angry. Sounds like it wasn't very fun. So I'm curious then. Did that visitor come back, or was there something else, some other reason that you've ended up here?
On the street, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was funny at the beginning. I thought she wanted to play like a game with me, and she had cookies. They were very delicious, these cookies. But like, I don't know what happened then. Suddenly, I was like in a car, and she was driving away with me, and I don't know where she brought me. And then I was in a totally different street in this completely strange city, and I didn't know how to get back to Master.
How long were you out in the street before you ended up here?
Well, I don't know. It's like the sun has gone up and it went down again and then it went up again. And I'm still not at home. I'm getting nervous.
Did you make any friends out on the street?
Many, like humans. Like they like me. And but I don't want to go with them. I learned my lesson. I will only go with Master.
When they tried to get you, what did you do? Just run away, or did you growl at them?
Well, I have like very pleasant ways to tell them that I won't do anything with them if they don't give me anything in before. And so if they don't present like something convincing, then I will go immediately. Then I will tell them that I will go. I can look like this.
I see.
And then they will know. Cookies or nothing.
Cookies or nothing. Okay. That's a pretty good trade. Okay.
But they don't seem to be helpful to find my way back to Master. It seems that I need to get in touch with other dogs.
Why? So you've been told by some of the other dogs here to look sharp when potential new owners come through. But nobody's adopted you over the past couple days. What are you doing to prevent that? Are you doing something wrong, or are you doing something bad, or just bad luck? I mean, because you're so cute. They normally love you, but nobody's taking you home.
Because I run away. I'm pretty good in escaping them by now. I don't let that happen anymore. No. I will find my master. I will. One day. I will find him. Because I belong to him. We belong together. We made a long journey together here. And now I need to find my way back. I will not go with them. The good thing is, because I'm so cute, I attract like many people at the same time, and usually they argue around and they can't find out how they should proceed with me. And before they're settled, I'm gone already.
I see. That's pretty clever. So you're pretty determined that nobody else, you're not a match for anyone else then, is that right?
No. I'm me and Mickey Mouse. That's my purple knowing ball. Like we stick together, and whenever I'm getting nervous, I just sit down and ignore for a while, and then I'm happy again.
Did you bring that chew toy from home then, or did you find it?
I brought it from home. It's the last memory I have. Yes.
Okay.
Look, it looks like a Mickey Mouse, but it's a ball.
That's pretty cool. Okay. Sean. So Sean, you where were you when the person from the Humane Society came for you?
I was making my rounds, and I'd gone by the little shop, and they gave me some Twinkies, and I went by the restaurant, and they gave me a bone because the good smelling guy wasn't there. And then all the other stores were like not there, closed or something, and so I had to go further because things have to go in their proper order, and I have to be shown the proper amount of respect from random strangers on the street. So I went a little further than I normally go. It was outside of the trees and over towards more of the streets. And well, I was on a mission to go get some more food or a bone or something good like that, but there was this puddle, and it was full of mud. And if there's a puddle full of mud, well, you have to go roll around in the puddle full of mud, because I don't smell nearly interesting enough on a day-to-day basis. There's my buddy back at home, and he keeps like washing all the good smells off me, and I don't understand it. We have arguments about it constantly, but he just doesn't really seem to see my point. Anyways, there was this puddle, and I had to get in the puddle, and so then I guess I was a little muddy, and I have a lot of fur, so it really sort of dangles, and I like the nice swamp monster sort of look that I can get. Anyways, I was going off looking for a bone, and there was a new dog down the street, and it was a little dog, and it was a dog I hadn't met yet, so I was going to run up and say hi to the dog. But then her buddy got all screamy and runny, and people started yelling, and I don't understand what was happening. So I just sat down and tried to argue with them like I do with Buddy, just so they could see the logic of the situation. I was just trying to introduce myself to a new neighbor dog, like a friendly person, and maybe see if her buddy had some, like a bone or something in her bag. It was not fun from there.
So you weren't arguing, you were explaining why you were right.
I was reasonably stating my position and what was going on and how she had dreadfully misunderstood the situation.
Gotcha. Just like you do with Buddy, and it's fine. She's
Right.
the one with the problem. Okay. That makes a lot of sense to me. I like that.
I have just as a note here, one of my breed tricks is the blood-curdling bark, which doesn't work on Master because he understands what it's all about, but other humans get all twitchy about it.
Stupid humans. They don't get it at all. Now, when you first arrived here at the La Frenère Humane Society, Sean, there's another dog who was in your kennel, and the two of you didn't get along. What was it about Rusty that got on your nerves?
Well, we see, I had from home, because I always like to keep it on me, because it's nice to have your things with you. I have my toy, my tug toy. It's a rope, and it's nice, and it's awesome. And I can usually wedge it underneath my collar and get it under there. And I guess when I was doing my swamp monster impersonation, they didn't notice it under all of the fur and the mud and the twigs and all the everything. And so I managed to smuggle it in, because I'm good at things like that. But when I was just sitting in my corner, rightfully enjoying my smuggled-in contraband that I had brought from home, and if Rusty had wanted some smuggled-in contraband, he should have brought it from home, but he thought he should have my rope toy, and I told him that he shouldn't have my rope toy. And then he said he thought he should have my rope toy, and then I explained to him that he should not have my rope toy. This went on for a while, and all of the people outside of the cages, they got very agitated. I don't understand it. It was just a reasonable discussion between two reasonable adults. I also bit him a little.
Right. Okay. And in the end, you were the top dog.
Well, I mean, obviously, look at me. I don't even know why they put Rusty in this cage with me. There's barely room for him.
Makes sense. He was not really that smart, obviously.
I had a discussion with the management, and we readdressed the living situation. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And then Rusty was taken away, and you haven't seen him. Like, they took him to the cats told you was the White Room, and you haven't seen him since. So I guess everything's okay, right?
Yeah, they found another situation for him, and that's just best for everyone. I'm sure he's happy, although stupid, off wherever he is.
Yeah, he was pretty stupid. Okay. So your number one goal, right? Well, I'm curious, Sean, have you and Buddy, has it always been the two of you guys? Has there ever been anyone else back home?
Well, I mean, there's all the people that live in all of the other rooms, but our kennel, it's just me and Buddy, and we like to do our work. I have things that I need to work on, obviously, and Buddy is, I mean, I try not to bring up his deficiencies in front of people, but he's a little obsessed with chewing, and he likes chewing rocks. It's weird. I don't understand. There are proper things to chew on all over the apartment. He chooses big rocks, and of course he has terrible teeth for chewing, so he has to hit them with things and make them into smaller, weirder rocks. But he's whatever, I guess. We're both busy is what I'm saying. We have things to be doing.
Tell me a little bit more about these rocks that he eats. What does it look like?
Well, they look like different things. They're just big rocks to start with, and he gnaws on them for a while. And I don't know. Sometimes it's like you look at a cloud and you see a fire hydrant, or you see like a bowl of food. Sometimes I look at his rocks and I see like another Buddy, but not like Buddy. Obviously, he's made out of rock, and it's just it's just an association trick. It's not real.
Right, and when he chews on it, does he have his own toys that he uses to chew on these big
Yes,
rocks?
and we have had a lot of arguments about those toys. I think sometimes I can see maybe where he could have some improvements on his chewing techniques, and I try and show him with his limited toys, but he seems to really like them. But he gets very upset about that. He's not good at sharing.
Oh, speaking of sharing, do you guys share food or do you have your own kind of food? I'm a little curious about that, Sean.
Well, I have my own sort of food because I'm not sure why, but Buddy he believes in a strong and regimented diet for me. So he makes sure that I have very bland and boring and healthy food at home, and I make sure that I eat right when I go out.
I was curious because you do eat out often. That makes sense to me. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. Well, last but not least, we already got a lot of great detail on Bo. How old is Bo?
Bo's about 8 years old. He's in the prime of his life, you could say.
I see. Now, is he an only dog? Does the great lady have any other?
No other dogs, of course. I'm more than sufficient to handle the great lady's needs. She will get bothered sometimes, and I have to calm her down. But in general, it's best just to keep a one-dog household, I find. The ladies come and visit, and I have a chance to say hello, and that I'm certain I have plenty of pups around by now.
I see. Okay. You've never met any of these little pups, then?
No. I'm not particularly fond of children.
I see. Okay. How often has this grown more in frequency, these visits, or is it tapered off, or is it just an even keel?
It's sort of been pretty even. I usually will see a young lady every several months.
And is it just a one visit, or do you get to know each other for a little bit?
Well, we have quiet conversation, and there is a slight wooing process. But in general, I find that most of them fall for my charms within the first day or so.
Now, do you see this as just a thing you do for the great lady, or is it a service that she provides you? What's the arrangement?
She's always very proud of me. She will often talk about how I'm her very best that she's ever had. Apparently, there have been other dogs in the house. I could smell their remains on occasion, but in general, she's very proud of how quickly I managed to endear the young ladies to myself.
I see. You mentioned remains. That's interesting. So there have been dogs here before, but they're not here now.
No.
Do you ever go out to the backyard?
Oh, yes, absolutely, certainly. Mr. Walkies and I will go about, and Mr. Walkies, he likes to take me around. There are stones where I can sort of smell what once was other dogs. It makes Mr. Walkies rather smile and laugh when he walks me around there. I don't quite understand why.
It's interesting. Okay. Now, is this a very large area, the home that you share with the great lady?
Oh, it's quite enormous. 3 stories up, though the great lady does not go up above the 2nd floor anymore. She has the rheumatism.
I see, the rheumatism. So she doesn't have like one of those chairs because she just stays.
She stays down on the lower floors.
Gotcha. But so there's Mr. Walkies, Mrs. Goodsmell. Mrs. Goodsmell, is she on the other floors?
She stays down in her den at the bottom of the house where she produces our food.
Good smell. I see. Okay. And then Princess Ming.
Ugh, appalling thing. Ugh, a specter of a cat that haunts our home, leaving its dread smell of death and malice everywhere.
What did you do to her little pillow? She had that little pillow that she says sits in.
I would not say it was her pillow. It was a pillow which she liked to lay upon, certainly. But, well, I don't see why anyone couldn't just lay on the pillow. It was comfortable. There was absolutely no need for what she did to my nose. I will tell you, it was just uncivilized.
Those scars have healed up by now, right?
Well, it's still a faint whiteness. I consider it one of those beauty marks that some have. You know, it shows character.
Gotcha. Did you escalate? Like, did that become a thing, or did you two have the one little spat and then you recognized the pillow?
When I was a pup, I was treated most unkindly by that cat. Since then, I have been a true gentleman. I allow her space. Occasionally, I will find the need to hurt her here and there. Thing needs an exercise, you know.
Yeah. So what was Princess Ming's involvement in you being out of the house that day that you were taken?
Well, I had been hurting Princess Ming quite a bit during that day, and the great lady, clearly seeing that I was in the right, felt that I deserved a proper walk, and she asked Mr. Walkies to take me out. And Mr. Walkies is a dull sort. Occasionally, I like to give him a bit of excitement, so I did run off a bit from him and turned bound and let him catch up and run off and let him catch up a bit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a proper game. I played that game myself before many years ago. It's very fun on either side, I assume. But at some point, did you just go where he didn't expect, or did he stop chasing you? What
I will tell you, I'm not sure. I turned around and there was no Mr. Walkins. Most unprofessional, I'd say. It's happened before, though. On occasion, he'll say, and just won't chase me, and I have to make my way back.
Mr. Walkies, just hard
He
to
has
find
good
help.
health these days. Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. So once you realized that Mr. Walkies wasn't around, were you able to find your way back to the house, or?
I moved a little further off than I had thought, and Forgotten Heights, a lot of the houses do look the same. I can't say I got lost. Now, certainly a dog of my stature would never be lost, but I will say that I was adventuring a bit further from home than normal. It ended up that it began to be night, and I generally do not like to be out at night.
So what did you do once it started to become night?
Well, I found a house that looked very similar to mine. I thought it was my own, and went to the door and began barking, and expecting, of course, Mr. Walkies to answer the door. It was not Mr. Walkies at all. It was an entirely different woman, someone I'd never even met. She seemed to find that I was, of course, attractive, and brought me in and called over some friends, but they ended up not being very pleasant sorts.
Oh, really? What do you mean by that? What did they do?
Well, he grabbed right a hold of me, threw me into the back of a vehicle, and drove me to this terrible place.
I see. So you thought she was going to take care of you, but she just called someone else to take you away.
Yes.
What was her name, that woman? Did she give a name to you? I'm sorry.
The one that called...
the one that called someone to take you away.
Well, she didn't give her name. She was rather old, but not as old as the great lady. I would say that she smelled much of smoke.
Gotcha. That makes sense. You know, smokers. Gosh, what are you going to do, right? Just not nice at all. Okay. Thanks, Bo. I appreciate that. All right, you guys, if you take a look at the character keeper, there's a tab called the shelter. That is a look at the La Frenère Humane Society, where you're currently being housed. Now, the four of you are actually in very close proximity. If you take a look at K9, but seriously, K9 and Runner 9, that is where Nomad has been placed with Sean. Nomad just recently came in to just first time since that darn Rusty was taken off to a different area. The Nomad was brought in. And then Sophie and Bo, the two of you are currently at K7. Okay, so K8 is right in between you guys. And K8 is where we currently have Socks and Alabama. Yep. Socks and Alabama are an odd pair because Alabama is a chow chow and Socks is a corgi. Socks has told each of you that she is named Socks because her front paws are white, whereas the rest of her is not white. And it looks like she's wearing socks.
So clever.
I don't get it.
How about Alabama? What's the Chow Chow's justification?
He's hard of hearing, so he hasn't exactly answered you yet. Luckily, though, he's pretty calm.
That's good.
He sleeps a lot.
I can speak much, much louder if he needs.
Well, maybe you should offer that to him. It's one of your many services.
We'll talk next time we're out in the run.
So I'm in with Sean.
You're in. Well, actually, someone was nice enough to keep notes. So K9 is where Sean and Nomad are. And so
right.
The answer is yes. Sorry. Oh, cool. So yeah, Sean and Nomad. So you know what? Why don't we pick up with Nomad? Maybe you just have arrived. So they have that little kind of lead thing around your neck. Right? With the long stick.
Yeah.
And the guy who's got he has a lot of hair on his face, but his hair kind of curls up. It's really like there's a smell of wax on his face. It's really weird. He is rough. He's a rough kind of human. And as he starts bringing you along towards this particular cage, a lot of the other dogs are greeting you loudly. Really loud.
Really loud.
Woo, woo.
Hello. Hey, how you doing? Hi.
Hey, look here. Hey, look over here. Hey.
What is that?
I there comes a point when there's so many dogs all in one place and we're not really a pack that you have to just kind of raise your tail and make a howl that just says hi to all of you.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm saying
Yeah.
I'm saying bonne nuit, chérie. I'm all in my Catahoula, Louisiana thing going on with my little curled tail curling even tighter. I know this guy. I think that smell of wax from the hair on his face.
Mm-hmm.
My friends, I think I heard them call it hipster affectation once. I'm not sure, but that's as close as I can come. So and this isn't my first time in the
right.
the lavalier, the whatever.
That's your first time in the
thing.
joint.
So and last time it worked out okay, and maybe this time, since they did that thing where they whatever, and they can supposedly try to find out about me, maybe that they can do that and get me back home. So I'm like, I'm okay. And so when he shoves me in with the stupid collar and the stick, I just look at Sean, who is, twice my size.
Hey.
He's a big dog.
It's a big dog. And I'm like, so what are you in for?
The usual. I was mud monstering, and people just don't appreciate art. Hey, was that howl in French? That's pretty cool. I've always wanted to learn another language.
Sort of, we call it Kurgan. No, I was trying to make a joke about Cajun.
He just sort of open-eyed nods.
Uh-huh. Hey, so I Paul have a question. Have you been cleaned up, or are you still really mud monster?
I want to believe probably they tried to wash me down.
Worst comes to worst, they'll just take the hose, so they've at least washed you somewhat. But if you've been at all amenable, they probably would have gotten, the bad dog person to come in and work with you and clean you off a bit. Maybe you have a few things you've hidden away, but generally I think you're cleanish.
So you don't still have inappropriate dreads?
No. So most of them have sort of dried out. There's still some
Right.
that are just hanging in there.
I'm like, I can totally see the mud monster thing, though.
Oh, it was real good. You would have loved it. It was a great puddle. I scared a bunch of children.
I love that shit. That's so cool. I've got children at home, so I don't
Ooh.
really get to. One of them rides me like I'm one of those
man
hoofed things. The things with they're big, and oh man,
the struggle is real.
Rock on. Rock on. No dog left behind. That's what I'm saying. Oh.
So what are you doing here? I mean, I did the swamp monster.
I don't think I have to say more than one word, right?
Well,
Rabbit.
I believe that's all. Where?
No. Sorry, past tense. Past tense, dude.
Oh.
Past tense.
Oh. So it'll come back?
There's
a rabbit.
Maybe if
Rabbit?
we're lucky.
He saw
It's Alabama.
He saw the rabbit.
Alabama just like he
Maybe.
heard rabbit. He does this thing, and like his fat rolls that come over his eyes because he's a chow. Like he does this thing,
Yeah.
and then you can see his eyes for a second, and then away, and he moves over.
Oh no. Okay, that was a close call, but I don't think there's a rabbit. It's okay, guys. We'll be okay. All right.
So Sophie and Bo, Socks comes over and starts yapping like, "There's a rabbit around here, guys. Have you seen the rabbit? Have you seen the rabbit?
Really? A rabbit, you say? Here?
Yeah, it's a big, tasty rabbit. Have you seen the rabbit, Sophie? Have you seen the rabbit? Is it in there with you?"
No, here's no rabbit. I would have seen it. I'm pretty good in finding rabbits. Yeah, they come in little chocolate boxes, right?
Chocolate's bad for you, man.
That's
And then
very true.
it starts bubbling along. It's kind of like a game of telephone, right? Just the mention of rabbit, it just bubbles along like a wave, and then all of the kennel on either side, like they're all leaning up. Where's the rabbit? Where's the rabbit? It's a big ruckus. It gets kind of crazy, and then Wax Mustache Guy, he comes back around and he starts just banging against the cages and screaming at you guys.
Ooh.
What do you do, Sophie? Oh, Bo, you give him a little. What for?
Yes. How dare you, sir?
Nice. Do you want to do a little, I mean, a little human handling, try to get him to chill the hell out?
Yeah.
I could try to do that. Maybe to put him in his proper place.
First die roll, yay! It's no longer a free-form game. We're actually engaging the rules for more than character creation.
D100.
Let's do it. I'm going to
Wow.
say this is, from a difficulty standpoint, it's probably tricky. So I'm going to say you get a -20 to your roll.
Okay.
And your normal human handling is a he's not a breeder, so it'll be a 30. So you're rolling 2d10 or d100 plus 10.
I rolled an 82 plus my 30.
Okay.
Then minus...
-20, so it would be 91. Holy crap, you got a 91? So close. So close. So you did your bit of growl, giving a bit of what for? Was the intention to just respect your authority, or okay.
Leave these fine, especially if he's doing this sort of thing to Socks and Sophie. That is just uncalled for to a lady like that.
Do you still consider Sophie a lady? You know she's been fixed.
Well, she's still a lady, I'm sure.
I see. It's very polite. You're very gentlemanly.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he looks down at you, does this kind of finger thing at the growl, says some words, seems a little menacing. Perhaps he's respected your authority a little much there, but he doesn't actually do anything more towards you. And the call of the rabbit and the excited, there's a Doberman across the way, and he just keeps running back and forth, like in the kennel, out to the run, in the kennel, out to the run. He knows where that rabbit is. And then Waxy Mustache Guy, finally he heads out. Things start to calm down, except for the Doberman. He's still just, man, he does not give up. Rabbit set him off.
I'll look over and say, I think he's going to do himself a mischief if he keeps running like that.
You said that to Sophie, right?
Yeah.
I think Sophie muted.
But why are you so mean to Wax Mustache Man? Like, can't you all calm down? I think this is not a place to be that loud. I asked him to bring me here. I asked him to find me some dogs who can bring me to my master, and, well, he did a good job, I would say. There are plenty of dogs I can ask now.
Well, it seemed to me that he was most unpleasantly rude.
Well, he was a little bit rough, but he had a cookie at the beginning. So I'm willing to pay back.
I didn't get a cookie.
Well, you're not as sweet as I am. What's your name, by the way?
I'm Bo. You are?
My name is Sophie. I'm only since recently in town, and I'm trying to find my way home, and maybe you can help me, Bo. Can you?
Well, I certainly anticipate that Mr. Walkies will be coming to retrieve me soon, so perhaps you could come with us.
Who is that? Is that your
He's the...
master?
No. Mr. Walkies is the man who takes me about.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, they can help us, right? What about you, Sam? Socks? What was your name?
Sock. Sock. See, I have white paws, but the rest of me is not white. It's like humans. They wear socks in their feet, and it looks like I'm wearing socks. So they named me Socks. That's my name. It's Socks.
It's like a play on bars.
Hello, over there.
Is Socks is a corgi, you say, which I am as well. Does she happen to not be fixed by chance?
Why, she is not fixed at all.
Well, hello there.
Hello, Beauregard.
Where do you come from, young lady?
Oh, I come from outside of here.
Do you have a home?
Well, I do here. Here's my home. I'm here.
How long have you been here?
For a while. A long while. I've seen lots of dogs come in, and some of them go with families, and some of them go to the White Room. And I'm still here.
I'll look back at Sophia. So you don't have a master, Socks?
I had a master, and they had to pack everything up, and they had to leave, and so they brought me here.
Oh, that sounds so terrible.
Oh, you poor thing.
It's okay. I don't mind. I get meals, and it doesn't rain on me. And as long as I don't go to the White Room, it's okay.
The White Room?
The White Room.
What is this White Room?
Sometimes if you stay here for too long, and if you have behavior issues, they will take you to the White Room, and then you never come out.
Oh no. That sounds horrible.
Maybe it's heaven, but I don't want to go yet.
Well, absolutely not. And you're a fine corgi, bitch. I have to think someone would have come along to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
But no, I don't have my papers.
Oh, they're very important. Oh, got to have them papers.
Papers? Oh wow, okay.
Yes, papers. I hear the great lady speak about my papers all the time. They must be magnificent, whatever they are.
I don't have them.
Oh, poor thing.
I'm sure I can hear this, right?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, you know Socks.
I know Socks.
You know Socks from before.
From the last time?
From the last time.
Oh, God. Poor Socks. Here's the thing. Socks is... Have you ever seen... I'm talking a little bit out of character here, but have you ever seen the incredibly adorable pictures of or videos of dachshunds with narcolepsy that
No.
that like someone offers them food and they run towards the food and then fall asleep before they can get it
Oh no.
because that's what triggers their narcolepsy. Right? It's seriously, look this up. But Socks is a corgi with narcolepsy. So
Yep.
when she gets overexcited, like when the little girl comes up and is like, "Oh, Socks, you're so cute," she's like, "Oh, yeah, lick, lick, lick."
Oh, I see someone upload a corgi, but here, let me upload the corgi that I kind of have in mind. Give me a sec here. This was pretty perfect.
And it's adorable in a YouTube video, but a little distracting if you're trying to adopt a dog. But I totally get why they haven't taken her to the white room yet, because it's just really so adorable, right? So I finally realized that it's still Socks here, and I'm like, "Oh, sweetheart." So
Turns. No, man!
yes. And then I say, "Bo, you say you have papers, but where are your papers?"
I believe the great lady keeps them.
So they won't do you no good here, will they?
Well, as I say, I'm sure Mr. Walkies is looking for me at this time, and it will be here any moment.
Are you so sure? How many times did I hear you say you had escaped from his attentions?
There have been several.
Is his patience unlimited?
I don't know. I've never really considered that thought.
Well, as we know, their attention span is limited.
Oh, that is certain.
They're only looking for their next meal and or distraction.
The great lady would hardly be able to sleep, though, if I wanted the house. Sir, you are quite disturbing me with their thoughts like this.
I understand that, but perhaps... And then I lean over to lick up some water from my bowl. So
Dramatic.
all open for other inputs.
So her name is Socks, and her feet are white. So it looks like she has tiny hers on her feet. I still don't get it. Sean is just over at the cage wall, just staring at her passed out form.
Sean, hello. My name is Sophie.
Oh,
I think I can explain that to you. She's wearing socks, like our masters do. Like, because it's cold here. I don't even have a proper blanket here.
so it's like when she huddles up against her buddy to make her buddy warm? That sort of Socks?
Yes. Yes, you could say so, yes. My name is Sophie, by the way.
Oh, what does it look like you're wearing?
I'm wearing? No, that's I'm a Dex hunt. I'm looking for my master. I want to ask everybody here, like, if they know how to get back to my master. And tomorrow I want to get my way back. So if anybody is with me and can show me the way, we could go tomorrow together. I'm happy to be friends with you.
I'm sure I could get back to my master. His name's Buddy. He's my buddy. I can't do that as a dog. That really depresses me.
Like your paw up, I guess. I don't know.
Is there something they call buddy that they wear?
You know,
Is
I've
this
never
like
thought to ask
socks?
him. He does put a thing on his head. Maybe that's a buddy.
Maybe.
Sophie, do you know where you live? We would have to. I can generally navigate through my neighborhood, but it's because I've seen my neighborhood. Do you know how to get back home?
Well, if we just walk around a little bit and try to keep like focus, which is difficult sometimes for me, we could. I think we will find it after a while, don't we? I mean, I heard it's a big city, but we have the whole day.
That makes sense.
I get the impression from Socks that they aren't very likely to let us, get out to the street.
Is she asleep?
I
Socks?
think so.
Oh,
She smells okay.
So, Nomad, you notice that there is a length of sturdy knotted rope that is located in one corner of the concrete part of your kennel. And it seems that Sean has noticed you noticing it.
I think I need to grab the end of that sturdy knotted rope and pull on it, because that's what we do.
Nice.
I feel the need to show Nomad here the proper way to pull on a sturdy knotted rope, which is mine, by the way.
First of all, by voluntarily failing a canine compulsion, I'm going to go ahead and give you a training point, Nomad. And by picking up the gauntlet, as it were, I'll give you a training point as well, Sean.
Yay!
We get to have our first little contest. So if you guys are cool, maybe we just do a little who's the alpha dog over the rope. Does that sound fun?
Sure.
Love it.
I'm good with that. So
Yeah,
tell me
watching.
what to do.
Awesome. So Dogpile we're going to use a version of the Dogpile rules. I'm not going to worry about well, I guess your speed die. Oh my lord. Here we go into discrete combat rules. Okay. You guys I'm going to say that you are going to make a strength contest. Let's just do it that way. Nice and easy. Brawn versus brawn. Roll off. Sean versus Nomad. Add in, let's see. I don't think with roughhousing. Would roughhousing? No, I don't think that necessarily work there. So
Yeah, that's just for.
Well, I don't know. We both have roughhousing, so it would. It would.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me reread roughhousing real quick. All right. Oh. Come on. Roughhousing. Okay. Oh, okay. I got it. So, yeah, you roll 60 or more on an attack, and
That's.
you inflict roughhousing damage instead of regular damage, which is the gotcha. Okay, it's like subdual damage.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Got it. All right. So you guys, either one of you can choose to initiate that if you wanted to. Otherwise, there won't be any damage. So you're not doing hit point damage to each other. But if you want to and successfully initiate roughhousing to cause some subdual type thing, you may. Let's go ahead and roll. Each of you roll D100 and add in your brawn. That'll be 55 for Sean and 40 for Nomad.
Ooh.
Damn it.
Oh my goodness gracious. That is tenacious.
Oh, I have to do it in the other thing.
Yep, and you have to do /ROLL space 1D100 plus 40.
Right.
And Sean is.
Ah!
Okay. All right. So here's how it is. So we've got a 5 and a 4 for style and speed for Sean, and we have a 4 and a 0 for style and speed for Nomad. So I think what happens is that you guys put on a nice long tussle. Yeah. Is it a fun growl kind of thing, or does it ever escalate to like true angry growls for either of you? Nomad, do you ever get pissed off during this, or is it fun?
Ooh, I've been mostly in a one dog house, and I think unless Sean nips somewhere Sean should not have nipped, that I'm going to keep it on the mostly friendly level.
I've got a nice healthy growl going. It's hard to avoid. Lots of chest, but the tail is going the whole time, and it's all about the rope toy. It's not about going after Nomad.
Nice. And you win. Is it just pure muscle, or do you wear him out? Because he's not as fast. Like it's been a while, maybe, for Nomad, or maybe it's just a whole lot of other things going on, but his speed is not as good as yours. So do you snatch it away from him? Do you wear him down, or do you just use your strength?
I think I wear him down. It's stronger than most people I play tug with, too, and it's no fun to just win immediately. You have to goad them into a contest.
Right. Well, cool. You guys wear each other out a bit, work off a lot of that energy.
I think they kill each other.
Yeah, what's Bo's reaction as audience here?
Can I tell they're fairly friendly?
It seems like it.
Sophie, don't worry. I think they're just playing, showing how they, which of them is the biggest dog.
There is a moment when Nomad seems to have taken a little bit of an offense, but then it's over. And Nomad, do you take issue with that? Do you want to escalate, or do you let it slide?
No, because what no one realizes, and this is what lets me, I have sort of taken this advantage to this moment to herd Sean into a corner. And as long as I have herded something, it's a win, and I can walk away. Seriously.
Nice.
I personally, as Paul, have known Catahoulas in my life, and I know what they do. So,
our Australian Shepherd, whenever we had parties, he literally would just like walk around the circle of the party and just.
It is smaller and smaller circle.
Yep. Keep kind of goading people in. It was great.
So, Rich, I have a question.
Yes.
There's the door coming into the front of the kennel. Is there a door in the back of the run too? Like that leads out of the run?
Oh, great question. So each of the runs, so you're talking like in R9, is there a door that leads out there?
Yeah.
No, everything leads internal. So everything goes to the corridor. The corridor has a door to the outside. And then, yes?
Now, I have the tug toy, which doesn't really address the idea of locks very much. But is this door into the middle something that would be susceptible to the tug toy, or is that not going to work on it?
Oh, it's entirely possible that it could be susceptible to the tug toy. Yeah.
I think
That might almost be the reason that the dog master brought it to our attention.
Then I think maybe like Sean has herded, or not, I'm sorry, Nomad has herded me over towards that interior door, and after my rightful and great looking win, I'll sort of be prancing around with the tug toy in my mouth, just swinging it back and forth, and it gets caught on something, and I can't get it off, but I pull, and then the door, I think, just.
Why, yes, it does. And we will stop our first session right there.
Oh,
Perfect.
oh, that's good.
Thank you
Hey.
for
Excellent.
that. Oh man. Okay, so if you guys have a few minutes, and we won't do a full on Roses and Thorns. We'll do that more like deeper dive. Just as more of a feedback after our first session together. We'll do a Rose and a Thorn. A Thorn is a thing that perhaps could have been different or better handled, or maybe if it just it wasn't what you quite expected. That could be the rules, that could be a decision or a moment I had. By the way, I'm very open to feedback. I work very hard to not be defensive. I'm not going to try to argue you out of your point. Whatever you say is completely valid and helpful to me. Like some of the things that have helped me be a better GM are when people give me critiques and feedback. Sometimes I take it to heart. Other times I realize it's just a point of view or a different play style. So it doesn't really bother me unless you tell me I personally suck. And then I'll say, well, that's your opinion. And then roses are a thing where you could give attaboy or attagirl to another player, talk about a moment that really was a highlight for you in our game, or something about the game system that shined for you. I like to start with thorns so that we can end on roses. I found that if we end on thorns, then like everybody leaves with like talking about the most negative part, and that's not always the best way to end a game session. Thorns for me, like I made a few jokes about, boy, I sure would love to indie this up. I think we went freeform like for 2/3 of the session, and that to me is an indicator of all of us saying, we've got a system here, but we don't necessarily have to get into the full-on combat. And I think that's a signifier, right? Though I used to come from it was a great session, we never touched the dice, and then I found rule systems that made me happy engaging them in them. And so now that statement is something that I find less like, oh, that's amazing, is more of a, okay, well, is there something deeper going on? To me, a percentile system with always a target number of 100 is like, okay, it does its job. It's functional. Other thorns, that's all the thorns I have. Paul, what about you? Any thorns?
Similar. I had from looking at, for some reason, I had the idea that dogs would be more similar to cats.
Yeah,
no. In some way. So my thorn is that this was, in the resolution mechanic was inverted. Basic role-playing, inverted Call of Cthulhu, and the character creation, although we got through it pretty quickly, that was mostly because most of us had thought of it some in advance. And but it was kind of fun when we ignored all of it.
Patrick, what about you? Any thorns you wanted to offer up?
I agree about a percentile system. I have a hard time like getting enthusiastic about a percentile system, and I'd not quite realized until we really got into it how much of that little tiny book is just stuff that relates directly to combat.
Yeah.
And how many of the stats are just things that relate directly to combat. And I mean, 3 out of the 4 of us took roughhousing, which is, I feel, sort of an indicator of like, I don't feel like getting into visceral, bloody dogfighting. That is real uncomfortable territory for me.
Yeah. It's a 25-page book, and I bet it could be like 15 pages, have all the cool art. And if you scooped out the combat, would you even need hit points? Like, there's so much about this that is that
Yeah.
craft of more conventional combat-oriented games. I feel you. So let's see. Garrett, what about you? What thorns did you want to offer up?
Well, I hadn't gone prepared into that game if there wasn't Tyler reminding me kindly every second week if I had thought about my dog yet. And I really appreciated
Thank
that.
you, Tyler.
Yes, so that was really cool because I was looking forward to that game more and more, like with every reminder. And good so, because the thorn is that if I hadn't done so, I would have been overwhelmed by the system, which is different. Like, it's not like checkboxes and done you are. And not playbooks, and that makes life easier. Like, in most of the times we meet each other online. And but yes, it's okay. It's a little bit more threat system. It's like, well, I have played that for enough years to be able to get into that mindset again. However, like, I would say, like, from the 2/3, there was at least 50% character creation. And that
Fair.
was fun as well, because we made it fun, character creation. So that's the mild thorn with the rose growing already next to it.
See, Garrett's thorns. It's just, he can't thorn very well, guys. He's just so positive.
No. That's my thorn, yeah.
Tyler, what about you? What thorn would you offer up?
Well, I mean, I agree with Gareth that we ended up spending a lot of time making characters, but it was fun and interactive. But it did take up a bit of our time. But kind of as a counterpoint, I would actually, I've always liked percentile systems, and I wouldn't mind seeing us engage some of the other things because I think that we have folks with these human handles and these animal magnetisms and the things that aren't as combat oriented, and I'd kind of like to see them stretch their legs a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you, and I'm hoping that we can really dig in. We're going to have a full session of no character creation. We've kind of hit this is all the prelude, as it were.
Right.
Right. And we're straight into the door has opened, which is just like the best. Thanks so much, Patrick. Tyler, we'll stick with you. What roses did you have?
It was I liked it. I liked the characters we're making. I think it's really fun to kind of play the dog mindset, and I think we all really got into it. And you had helped us move along into that. Everything you described kind of came from that dog perspective. And everybody made such really neat characters. They're really fun.
Yeah. So circling back, Garrett, what rose? You already had a rose starting, but now we can officially get your rose.
Yes, now they're like colorful and cherished and everything. Just not roses. First of all, a rose to our characters and Nomad. I know you're the inferior dog. Bo explained that to me. I understand. You're inferior, but that's okay. You're a cute dog anyway. Yes? You're cute. That's okay. Just inferior. That's the point. Well, it doesn't matter that much. So, and about the gameplay, it's a lot of fun. I asked myself if it's possible to play a serious story, and I have the feeling that we will get into some drama in the next session, talking about like the substance of being a dog and what that means, and with our anthroposophic view on the world and on dogs, what we will discover around our characters. Very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, awesome. I hope we get there too. I think we can. I see it. I see there will be some drama in here. It's not just going to be a fluffy DreamWorks picture, all ages. Damn it, we're going to push PG-13 at some point. Patrick, what roses did you want to offer up?
As far as the system goes, like as much as we've talked about thorns with it, like the trick choices and some of the fun little things in there, like they're really fun, and I thought they bled through and colored the game really interestingly, and I liked thinking about like how do I explain a giant, scary-looking dog who has blood-curdling bark and puppy dog eyes? That was a fun sort of like way to figure it out. And I love the other dogs too. Sophie is fucking adorable. Um, and I really enjoyed and didn't quite expect the very sort of like philosopher duo we have going with Nomad and Sophie, who are just considering the deeper meanings of doggy life. I really look forward to like a direct conversation between the two of them.
Yes, I agree. Paul, what roses did you have?
Similar to everybody else's, I do think that the customization options give you the opportunity to put in some both. You know what? I want a roughhouse instead of slit the throat, but also give us opportunities to have some contradictions, which are great. But for me, the greatest thing is the time Rich spent to ask us questions and really follow through on that, which both felt like part of character creation, but also felt like part of play to me. And then just it is not often in a game with four people that I feel like I have done the least to portray a character. and the other three of you did so well. Tyler, you leveraged your native attributes to portray Bo so well. Garrett, you did the same thing with Sophie in such an unbelievably adorable way, and I all three of you, even Patrick, Sean was just like, yeah, I'm the big dog, but I'm like, I'm in my mind, I'm cute. In my mind, I'm cute. Look, I made a mud monster. Isn't that funny?
I'm adorable, you guys.
Yes. And that is just so great. And I love playing with you guys. And that's as it often is in these things with me, because I haven't done a lot of hangouts role playing. As it often is in these gauntlet games, my rose is just, you guys are freaking awesome. Thank you. That was fun.
So are you.
Thank you. I had a ton of fun with this game.
I did too.
Yeah. So Tyler and Patrick, first time I played with you guys, and of course, you guys were so excited. I was like, I really wanted this to be a good game. Like, I'm really nervous coming in, right? And from the moment that Tyler spoke as Bo, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
This guy fucking brought it. Like, you gotta go next level here because Bo is like the god of dogs. This is so good. I was like, wow.
Well, you know how much I was looking forward to playing with you. I think you're phenomenal. I'm so glad to finally get to play with you.
Thanks. I'm really excited about what comes next for these dogs. Almost the entire session, I had this odd, like you said, as I explained to you guys, I grew up a dog person. I've always had dogs until my 6-month-old son was covered in hives, and we found out he was allergic to dogs, and we said, we've got to make a hard decision, and we found great homes for our 2 dogs. And we haven't had dogs since. And there was this 2-hour bittersweet feeling throughout this entire game as you guys embodied these fascinating dogs that reminded me of dogs I have known or read about or seen in media and just loved. And so thank you all so much. These were some great characters, like we have 2 more hours to spend with them, which is more than most animated dog movies. So I don't feel bad that there's only one session left, because this was super good.
Mhm.
So I can't wait, and I love that it's like week after week, right? So we won't have that, because a lot of times Gauntlet City Limits is a fortnight, and having it next week is great. I have something really exciting to look forward to. A little over 6 days. So thank you guys so much for bringing it, for being part of this, being understanding about new system, about a system that's a little wonky, percentile, which is good for one. The other 3 of us, or 3 or 4 of us, like, I'm not sure. But I think there's some other things with the system that we will discover as we play Dog next week. So thank you guys so much. And if you have any like follow-up thoughts or questions or whatever, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Okay.
Thank you. It was awesome.
It was great.